Hello everybody, a very good evening to you from Tottenham, where it's finished here on a tense and frantic night in the Premier League. Tottenham 1, Leeds 1. It's not enough for Spurs. They so badly wanted a victory tonight to feel like they were taking some kind of leap towards safety. Instead, they are 2 points above West Ham, with both Spurs and West Ham having 2 games remaining. So the story does go on. They didn't quite do enough to get victory, frankly, tonight. And I say that the Spurs fans here are leaving in an even more angst-ridden state than when they arrived, if you can believe that. Well, I'll tell you that the story of the game, it was Leeds that had the best chance of the opening exchanges, with Joe Rodon's header well saved by Antonin Kinski, the Spurs goalkeeper, having a really good night actually. Spurs stepped up their game towards the second part of the first period, and João Paulina fired over the crossbar from close range. Leeds were shouting for penalties before half-time, and it probably was actually. Dominic Calvert-Lewin dragged down by Destiny Udogie, but Calvert-Lewin fractionally offside in the build-up. And then Spurs scored after half-time, a few minutes into the second period. It was a brilliant strike, Matisse Tell with no backlift at all, curling shot into the top corner, really brilliant effort. Then one of those classic moments where it really sort of turned on a dime. It could have been 2-0. Richarlison putting the ball over after really good work from Kolo Muani. He lifted the ball to Richarlison. Richarlison put it over. And then wouldn't you know it, Leeds equalised soon after. A high boot from Matisse Tell, a bit silly from him really, on Ethan Ampadu. And after a VAR check, the penalty was given and Dominic Calvert-Lewin smashed home from the spot. Well, 13 minutes of stoppage time, not entirely sure where the referee and the other officials got that from. That really did cause quite a surprise around this stadium, I can tell you. But lots happened in it. I mean, first of all, there was a couple of moments for Leeds. Kinski, brilliant save, tipping a Sean Longstaff effort onto the crossbar, and then straight after, Longstaff hit another decent chance wide. And then right at the end, Spurs had shouts for a penalty. Lucas Nemacha challenged James Maddison. He did seem to get a touch on the ball, and after a VAR check, the decision was no penalty. So Leeds knew they were already safe. They gave it their all here. Kind of impressed by them. Every time I've seen them on television, and the couple of times I've seen them live, they've been decent. I think with a few clever buys in the summer, they could be, okay, and maybe rise even higher at the table next season. But as for West Ham and Spurs, as I say, the story goes on. West Ham are at Newcastle on Sunday, then Tottenham are at Chelsea next Tuesday night, and then it could go all the way to the final day of the season, May the 24th. Both at home. Tottenham are home to Everton and West Ham are home to Leeds. So they'll just be a few miles apart potentially, and so much drama going on. So still a proper scrap at the bottom. As I say, there wasn't always a lot of quality about this, but you couldn't take your eyes off it. Very surprised to see people leaving early. And they might get home in time for news night, but it's a bit of a risk in this league, and so much did happen late on. But there wasn't a goal, crucially, in that stoppage time. And it finished Tottenham 1, Leeds 1. From your old friend Nick Metcalf here in North London. A very good evening to you.